Measles is making a comeback in the US. Over 900 cases have been reported nationwide, and nearly half of them come from here, Gaines County in West Texas, home to a large Mennonite community. Here's what we've known. The measles virus has spilled over state lines, with the CDC identifying cases in Texas, Oklahoma, and New Mexico sharing the same origin. And here's the thing about measles. It's highly contagious. A population would need 92 to 94% of vaccinated individuals to stop the virus from spreading.
Measles is the most contagious virus known to humankind. An individual that's infected with measles can infect maybe 10 or 15 other people if they're susceptible.
This is Dr. Amish Doja. He is a senior scholar at Johns Hopkins, specializing in infectious disease.
And measles spreads through the air. So this is a very, very contagious disease, which is why we need to have immunity levels very high to keep it at bay.
But the US declared the elimination of measles back in 2000, meaning there was no longer measles spreading within the country, and new cases were only brought in from abroad. This win was largely thanks to the introduction of the MMR, that is measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine. Before the 60s, the US used to report around 500,000 measles cases each year. But this wall of immunity has cracked in recent years, largely because of declining vaccination. The CDC data showed the MMR vaccination rate among US kindergartners has been sliding since 2019, which left roughly 280,000 kids at risk of infection during the last school year. In the Loop Independent School District in Gaines County, nearly 48% of students were exempt due to conscience-based reasons. So, why are people from certain communities historically unvaccinated?
There's no religious doctrine of the Mennonites or many of the main religions that people subscribe to that are against vaccinations. I do think that anti-vaccine rhetoric does endorse what's happening in Texas. It's what makes that possible, because the anti-vaccine movement has tried to destroy people's respect or their valuation of vaccines. And that is something that is very much in the culture now.
One of these anti-vaccine organizations is Children's Health Defense, funded by the US Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Back in March, Children's Health Defense interviewed the Mennonite parents who had just lost their 6-year-old daughter to measles. In the interview, the parents shared how their 4 remaining children, who also contracted measles, quickly recovered after receiving supplement treatments that contain vitamin A-rich food and steroids.
Yes, absolutely. We would absolutely not take the MMR. The measles wasn't that bad. They got over it pretty quickly, and Dr. Edwards was there for us. So
it was amazing.
Yeah.
I also asked Dr. Doja this question: is vitamin A the answer to a measles outbreak?
Vitamin A is a treatment for measles, but only when there's vitamin A deficiency present. Additionally, vitamin A can be toxic if taken in too high of doses. So vitamin A is not a substitute for the vaccine.
On Children's Health Defense's website, most narratives have focused on one idea. MMR vaccines aren't just unsafe, but can lead to autism. This rhetoric was previously championed by RFK, but has been widely debunked by decades of research.
The MMR vaccine has no relationship with autism. It does not increase rates of autism. This false notion comes from a fraudulent paper that was retracted, and there have been multiple studies since that time that have not shown any linkage between autism and the receipt of the MMR vaccine.
So here's that retracted paper from 1998. The authors reported MMR vaccines might cause children to lose their acquired skills, including language. But in 2010, The Lancet, which is the journal that retracted this paper, said that the children in this study were carefully selected, and the research was actually funded by the lawyers of parents who back then were suing vaccine manufacturers. But over the recent outbreak, Kennedy's comments on vaccines also went through a prominent shift. In a Fox interview back in March, he gave positive remarks on supplement treatments, which include giving cod liver oil to patients.
And they're getting very, very good results, they report.
But after a month, as the measles cases continue to surge, he formally endorsed MMR vaccines as the most effective to prevent the disease.
Measles has been eliminated not only from the United States, but from the whole region of the Americas, not because of alternatives, but because of the vaccine. The vaccine is the tried and true method to contain measles. We don't need to reinvent the wheel here. We have a vaccine that works, and you have to think of this outbreak that's occurring in Texas as chosen.